Have you heard about Moltbook?
Yes.
Not the answer I was honestly expecting.
Okay, well, you told me to look it up, so I did.
She actually did her research, fam. Way to go.
I love homework.
I feel like this is like a little bit AI niche, but we're gonna go with it.
Yeah, great. Let's also explain it for those who don't know.
Yes. So over the weekend, this AI bot went viral for doing something kind of unsettling. It built its own social network where AI agents were talking to AI agents, no humans required. And everybody immediately asked the wrong question, I think, which was
Mm,
like, is this the beginning of AI sentience, eliminating humans,
the
sci-fi
classic
nightmare?
kind of, yeah, iRobot mindset.
Yes, I think everyone feared the bots, but the real problem was actually human error.
Surprise, surprise.
You can read a lot of reporting on this. There's been a ton over the past 72 hours. Basically, it looked like a Reddit, right? It's this Reddit style forum, and it was designed for these AI agents to talk to each other and test ideas and collaborate autonomously, just like humans do on Reddit.
Right.
So what happened? They started posting. They started
Mhm.
replying to each other, upvoting topics, forming opinions. It's questionable, but that is what it looked like. And the internet lost its mind. Because anytime that bots do something that looks social, we project our humanity onto it and treat it like it's pattern recognition, like it's automation with intention, and like it's a personality. When in
Yeah.
reality, we should probably be more concerned with the infrastructure that this tool was built on.
Because at the end of the day, it is just doing what AI does. It's spitting things out, it's learning behaviors, it's repeating things. It's not
Exactly.
becoming human.
It's not sentient. So many of these replies were just things that it would be trained to say, and people were
Mhm.
taking it as, my gosh, it's learning how to say things like humans. No, this
Right.
is how large language models work. That this is how they're established. The larger issue with Moltbook is that it leaked millions of credentials in the process of the bots coming together and this whole thing happening. And so like all of these API keys were being leaked. Private data was being exposed by these different agents. And it's painfully familiar as someone who works in tech and has for a decade now.
Yeah.
Because the bots were not maliciously leaking this data. The whole issue is that humans moved really fast, skipped the boring safeguards. It's not an AI failure story where like they were maliciously leaking our data. It's like human process failed to create the safe rails because this Moltbook was built on something open source. And so then
Mhm.
all of this exposure happened. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm thinking of it, because it's kind of paralleling Reddit, on Reddit, there are mods in there that,
Mhm.
can report content, remove content that kind of structurally works to be a safeguard in a sense.
Yes.
And this is lacking human mods. So there is all of this kind of tumbling effect of data breach, etc. Right?
Yes. And this is where I see a pattern that I see in tech, that I see in crypto, an industry I've worked in, that I see in wellness, a big focus of ours. And that is so prevalent in emerging tech. And when people think of it's the future of everything, which is what we're doing as humans right now with AI. We're like, this is the future of everything. And it's that we rush to ship, we optimize for it going viral, right? This whole thing became so viral because it looked so wild. And we reward novelty over building things slower and slightly more responsibly. That whole move fast and break things adage from the early 2010s app era when like Uber and Lyft and all these apps were being created and becoming these massive companies, that was like always a thing that was getting thrown around is like, just move fast and break things. And I feel like it has just become such a dangerous way to approach so many things in the emerging world, and whether it's tech or wellness. It's more scary that humans keep skipping the basics to protect the end user.
Right, because they wanna be first, because they wanna go viral, because they wanna make money, etcetera, etcetera.
Absolutely. The AI agents talking to each other. Okay, cool. That was more of the spectacle than anything, but the real issue is who's accountable in these systems? Who's responsible when there's not a human in the room anymore to do that? Automation doesn't just always remove responsibility.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely.
It just makes the consequences move faster, and that's not always a good thing. And if you're watching this and you're like, I don't work in AI, so why should I care? Then I think my answer to that is because this logic shows up everywhere. It shows up in wellness products that launch before they're proven or that have really poor marketing.
Recall them.
It shows up in platforms that grow before they're safe. Think about what's that game all the kids play that like all the pedophiles are on?
Oh god.
Roblox. It happens in systems that scale before they're understood, in this case, in tech, in AI. And velocity always feels like progress because we're like, wow, look how quickly like we got to this thing. We got here, you guys. But at the end of the day, it's like it's progress until it isn't. And this
Mm,
whole thing kind of imploded as it was being reported on.
yeah, we gotta be a little smarter than machines, guys. Let's do our part.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess to close it out, the future's coming either way, and the question is whether we want to build it thoughtfully or we just want to build it fast enough to go viral. And I'm not sure what humanity is going to choose.
Oh my god.
I don't always like my odds.
Terrifying. This was a scary episode.
Anything else you want to add?
Well, I also just think about like environmental impact with AI is always a topic of conversation, and that we've just created a social platform for them to just keep spinning and spinning and spinning when they're not doing other tasks. I'm like, great, what other ways can we just put the world on like auto kill?
Very good point.
So again, no accountability for that side of things.
There are always so many layers to
So
this
many
decision
layers.
making. I mean, we're
Yeah.
what? We're 15 years into Lyft and Uber, something like that, and we still have women being sexually assaulted. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I see billboards for it all the time. So
That's all we got for this week on Nervy. I'm Hannah, your blonde on the run,
I'm Olivia at Weirdo Hour,
and you can find us anywhere, anytime.
but not on that AI site.
Not on Moltbook.
Terrible name.
No agents there. Bye.
Hey.